This show is brought to you by Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group and the German Development Corporation through GIZ.
Thank you. You are showing me too much love. My name is Okyeame Kwame, and I'm saying Akwaba to the recovery stories. On this show, we sit down with relevant stakeholders in the insurance industry. We also sit down with insurance beneficiaries with the aim of demystifying the insurance claims processes that we have in Ghana. We look at the do's, the don'ts, the myths, and the truths. And on this show, we always bring you the expert to come and explain to you step by step what the processes are. This show is brought to you by the Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group and GIZ. Once again, my name is Okyeame Kwame, and you are welcome to a rollicking insurance processes understanding show. Thank you.
Around 2019 December, Dad passed on at the hospital. I was really confused as to what to do.
I was told to report back the next day to give my statement. After all that was done, they finished, they called me that it was ready. I went in for it and I took it to my insurance company.
I had a call from the insurance office. They then told me that they've gotten all the documents and they will get back to me. Within two to 4 days, I had my money.
My name is Micah Teria Fenny.
Hi, my name is Edmond Nakao.
Hello, I am Veratan Saki.
Insurance pays. Notify, submit, and get paid.
Thank you. A few days ago, I spoke to Mr. Ayi Mensah, who enjoyed life insurance under a micro insurance policy, and he says everything is boko. We are going to go and listen to the conversation.
My name is Mr Ayi Mensah from Winneba. I live at Tema New Town. I'm an auto electrician. It became difficult for me, but because I got involved in insurance, I was there one day when one of the managers called me. He normally called me and asked me how my work is failing. So to that, I told her that I have lost my wife. He said, "Oh, sorry." So he asked me whether I have the bail permit or the death certificate. I told him yes, and he said I should send it to you. So I forwarded it to the management. They did our work because normally when the manager comes, you have to keep some so that if any incident happened to you, you can have something to. So a lady came here and introduced the insurance to me, and he told me it would be better for us to get involved. So as if that's the case, then I'll try. So when I was doing, I was afraid because most of the people said insurance don't pay. So I couldn't contribute huge amount. Later on that I have to keep some so that see what they. So they told me if I can make partial withdrawal. So I tried twice. I don't know it will work. So through that I got involved into the insurance. I just sent the death certificate to the management, and they told me I will hear of them. So within a week they called me and they asked me to send them my bank account and my ID card. So that I was having my driving and I sent the driving license to them. And I gave them account. Within 4 days, and the bank called me and told me someone have sent money to the account. I got a message. And I called them and I verified. They say yes, they have sent money from the insurance company to my account. Actually, I didn't face any challenge because I was not as expecting them to pay. So when they called me that they would send the money, I was so shocked. So I didn't face any challenge. So that was benefit because I wasn't accept them to send the money to me. In this kind of the manager say, "What can say the manager pass this kind of buy." Oh, ne me can't check Ghana for say insurance etua. Na ade ba kwa wo mu say you ko shema ya bise mu ye. Say be life insurance and hospital we be e say wo chi ase say insurance a wo ye say na esi be tua nti be na enimi nti ono koroko insurance on mi say bia why life insurance say bia na bibi yare na ono hospital e say wo tua na be ma no. Nti ne me ka check Ghana for say eye omutua e be papa say obi ade no be share insurance mu ama say bibi say to wa e tue di nkom.
Let me seize this opportunity to welcome my own big brother into the studio, Mr. Solomon Labi from the insurance industry. Mr. Labi, welcome back to the show. Yes. So, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, Kwame.
You heard what he said.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why do you think that it is so difficult for others to go through the process, but he had it in such an easy, fluid manner?
Thank you so much, Okyeame Kwame, and good afternoon to our audience and wonderful listeners. When we talk about microinsurance, like you said, Ayi Mensah benefited from microinsurance. Microinsurance is basically for the informal sector. So basically people who do their own businesses, people who have low incomes. Basically the idea is to get everybody to buy into insurance. Now, anytime anybody buys insurance, basically there are simple things that you must take note of, especially with funeral insurance policy. First of all, insurance is a contract. So you must get your policy document, which testify that indeed you've entered into an agreement with the insurance company. 2, identify the kind of people you put under the policy. So basically, if I buy a policy, I must be sure the people I want to cover. So maybe my father, my mother, my children, and maybe any relative. Then 3, very critical and very important, is to ensure that the agreed premium is being paid monthly. So these 3 things are very critical and must always look out for them.
Okay, thank you. But I mean, I like the introduction, but my question was, why is it that Mr. Mensah, Mr. Ayi had a good experience and others don't?
Right. So Mr. Ayi Mensah had a very good experience before. I'm sure the first 3 things I mentioned were all in place. So anytime there's time for claim or you want to make a claim, like I said, first of all, check whether you have a policy as agreed and it's active and it's running. 2, check whether the people or the person you want to make a claim on is indeed covered under the policy. And then 3, your premium is being paid. Once you've satisfied yourself with these 3 things, then you can then notify the insurance company that this policy that I had or the funeral policy that I bought, indeed the person that I covered under the policy has passed on. They would then request for you to then bring the proof of payment, or proof of death. Basically very critical. You cannot just say by mouth that somebody is dead. You must prove that the person is dead. Once the proof of death is submitted, they will then do assessment or check and investigate to see whether the document you provided is true or is genuine. Once that is done, then basically the claim is paid.
Thank you. So I want to talk about delays because that's what all Ghanaians are interested in. We want to quicken the process, and the easiest way to do it is to talk about it first. What causes delays, especially in funeral policy? Because once a relative of mine passes, that person will be put in the morgue or the fridge, and it costs money, and people are going through grief, children and all that. The more the delays, the more grievous the pain. So what causes the, let's talk about the cause first, then we can look at the solutions.
Kwame, thank you very much. Previously, I know most people had that idea or that mind that insurance people delays in paying claim. But I can say for a fact that now it is not so. Most of the time, insurance companies have now targeted, and then the industry itself, our regulator, NIC, has insisted that most claims should be at worst, within a month, your claim should be paid. So once all necessary documents had been submitted and every investigation had done and it's ensured that indeed the documents are genuine, then the claims are supposed to be paid. But let me say that delays come in when, one, premiums are not paid as expected. Two, there's suspicion of maybe a criminal activity going on or something untoward that happened. Three, when you didn't divulge all the relevant information at the inception. So insurance will call something utmost good faith. So you must tell all the material facts or truth about the person you want to insure or the thing you want to insure. So if you don't tell and later on there's a claim and they detect that you hid some relevant information, it might cause a delay. And then insurance also have what we call exclusions. So when you take a funeral policy, there are policies that will indicate that if you take your own life, you might not get a claim. It's suicide, so it is an exception. If you involve in any dangerous activity, let's say you do drugs and you pass on, or you go and do any illegal activity, let's say you go and do armed robbery and you are shot, the tendency that you might not get a claim is there. Then lastly, when you don't get the proof of death or the relevant information that will prove that indeed the person is dead, the insurance company might be tempted to investigate, or when they suspect any suspicious activity, then they might delay the claim and want to be sure whether what you are saying is true or not. And we're saying that sometimes people also falsify information. So insurance companies, most of the time, will also want to check and be sure that indeed the claim that you are making is genuine before they make the payment.
Solutions.
So my simple solution to the general public or to our audience is that when you purchase an insurance policy, please, there are basic things that you must ensure. One, be sure that you have a policy document. Two, ensure that your premium payments are being done regularly. Sometimes it could be monthly, it could be quarterly, it could be yearly. But whatever mode of payment, please ensure that the payment is going on. And then three, make sure that all the relevant people or the people that you put under the policy are the people that are there. And if there's any changes that you effect, make sure that it reflects in the policy document. And with that, once there's a claim and then your policy document is genuine, your premium are being paid, you get your relevant document to prove that indeed the incident happened. I can bet you claim will not delay.
We'll be right back after this break, and this is the Recovery Stories. Thank you very much.
Around 2019 December, Dad passed on at the hospital. I was really confused as to what to do.
I was told to report back the next day to give my statement. After all that was done, they finished, they called me that it was ready. I went in for it and I took it to my insurance company.
I had a call from the insurance office. They then told me that they've gotten all the documents and they will get back to me. Within two to 4 days, I had my money.
My name is Micah Teria Fenny.
Hi, my name is Edmond Nakao.
Hello, I am Veratan Saki.
Insurance pays. Notify, submit, and get paid.
Insurance pays. You are welcome back to Recovery Stories. Mr. Labi.
Yes, sir.
Please enlighten me. What is micro insurance and what are some of the micro insurance products that we have for Ghanaians?
Thank you again, Kwame. Like I said, microinsurance basically are same as all insurance policies, but this time the focus is on the informal sector. And basically with microinsurance, the premiums are small. As small as 2 cedis a month, you can get a microinsurance policy. And the sum assureds are also okay and good enough, so everybody can purchase a microinsurance product. Now, when we come to microinsurance products, we're looking at the basic ones are funeral policy, which means that you can purchase a funeral policy for yourself, for your parents, for normally with microinsurance, we can even allow you to cover your relatives. So your father, your mother, your uncles, your aunties, you can cover them under a funeral policy. We also look at, most of the time, the informal space are interested in savings. If you just say purchase a funeral policy so that at the end of 3 years or 4 years, if nothing happens, I don't get anything, they will not buy. So others have what we call funeral policy with savings. So basically, what it means is that you buy an insurance policy and you also have savings. So let's say you are doing a 2 cedis contribution a day or a 5 cedi contribution a day. At the end of 20 days, if you're looking at 20 working days, it means that you have 100 cedis. Maybe the funeral policy is covering you for, let's say, 10 cedis or 20 cedis. The 80 cedis in addition is your own savings. So it gives you a time period where the maturity, you can go for your investment policy. So that is a product for the informers.
Let me make a confession. About 15 years ago, I did a micro insurance policy for some older members of my family. I paid this, nobody died. I'm not saying that I wanted someone to die, but it got to a point where I was thinking that, oh, what if they gave me some of my money back? But so I went into the negotiation, but they didn't do it. So I'm really happy that you are saying this. And I want you to re-echo it in Chi so that people understand, or whichever local language you speak.
Inti men can say ba funeral policy. Say can say funeral there. What we say is a purely risk. Inti policy no say sometimes your term. Inti be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. What it means that what's the cover for this period? That period be ensia yankwaje sika back. Insurance basically it is a welfare. Oh, sorry now your welfare policy. You say mami and papa and with my 2 affairs are so basically that's how insurance works. And insurance works on the principle of pool or numbers. So basically, obiesi can get with 2 cedi, with 3 cedi, with 5 cedis. Then you have the Rex back. So that whatever happened to the few, the pool money is used to cover for the few people that benefit. Until Usikano, yeah, the bois made it because so insurance are quite a welfare scheme, a busia scheme. Most insurance companies realize that, especially when it comes to the informal space, so any policy for 3 years, 4 years, no way any benefit so most of the time we do what we call cashback.
Cashback.
So when you go to most insurance companies, they give cashback. So let's say after 3 years, your policy you didn't get, nobody died, or you didn't get any benefit, they will give you a cashback. Others do, let's say 25% of your premium, annual premium. Others for the 3 years period, they calculate, let's say 10% of your premium and pay it back. But like I said, with microinsurance, most of the time we allow for savings. So you can go for maturity when your policy matures. Or you can do partial withdrawal. So when you come to the space where I work with Star Microinsurance, basically we have a policy that allows you that every year you can withdraw part of your policy as partial withdrawal. And then we also have what we call hospital cash. Now most insurance companies have this hospital cash policy. What it means is that when you especially traders, a trader will not leave his work for 1 day or 2 days for nothing. So it means that when somebody is hospitalized, it really impacts on their income. So what the hospital cash policy allows is that when you are sick for a period, they calculate. Some insurance companies pay you per day, others pay you per the period that you stay. So let's say if I take a hospital cash policy and I'm hospitalized for 5 days, if the benefit is that every day they'll pay me 50 cedis, it means that at the end of 5 days, once I show the relevant document, they pay me my 250 Ghana cedis back. We also have personal accident policies. So let me say that everybody seated here, personal accident policies are cheap. You can cover yourself for 10,000 Ghana cedis. You can cover
You've gone back to English.
Indeed, your personal accident policy, and I can share policy. So what on Diana, so we are on Bia, Ghana, and Nibia, insurance company, Biana, your personal accident policy, one can bet me I am bet me I am a Obusia. I can share bar most of the time, no. with third-party policies, the maximum benefit you get is 5,000. But you can take a personal accident policy on yourself. In a year war, what you call shop insurance, until we bush any be and our papa shopper. Most of the time, now within structures now are dangerous. A gentleman basically. So most of the time, shop insurance to look at a block shop and now be to be a shop and so bet my shop insurance policy premium no very small. And then also we have the credit protection or loan protection. Oko microfinance institution, microcredit institution, savings and loans in rural bank, most of them have this credit protection policy. Oko ji loan na a bond who buying. Nature says in case say utia loan na nyame mfa samba wo free mu and as we become permanently disabled. Omo nko obusia for and as we guarantee house onko jiska no. Insurance company will come and pay the outstanding loan you owe the bank plus 1 month interest to the bank. So basically, no so what do you japadia krana, japadia na aye busia dia, obia mbaji. Insurance who in ya papa.
All the things you have said are nice. It's as though you are jobbing me. I feel like you are jobbing me too much. Is it true? I mean, so when our mothers who cannot speak English and fail forms, when it's time for you to give them their monies and their claims, you give it to them.
Kwame, that's very micro insurance space. So micro insurance. We call you almost all the big markets in Ghana. Say your agents or markets when you now premium and I say a booklet. Every Obia what micro insurance policy be or until 2 1 CD or record or 2 cities. It is on your maturity crana on yes or Baba saying. And once I didn't book by my agent, no, say my policy national. I saw 5 years and I say I'm gonna be your man of form or fail it. Even with micro insurance, let me say that like I said, you can't use your math to say Obiewu and I say what I say me and papa wu. But with even micro insurance, we allow so if you are not getting death certificates or medical certificate or cause of death or barrier permit, you must somebody who is a relevant person in society. So let's say a lawyer, a pastor, imam, assemblyman to attest on a letterhead. Say ampa nipanewu. So now testifier and once you be follow up to show say ampa nipanewu dance say nipanewu. If it is done, your claim is paid.
I have a very critical question for you, but before that, I think whenever they are looking for prominent people in society, the lawyer, imam, they should just add musician. but you said agent.
Yeah.
So how can my mother, 73 years old, in the market, how can she know that the agent is credible and this one is fraud?
Most insurance companies, apart from agents, your supervisors, in a fire books be an office number or one as a contact or to bet me afre and I so bet me I just say okay mommy my office number and I said be a dance here sampa. It's most of the time we realize that even before we enter into a market space, we deal with almost all the markets have market queens or queen mothers. So every insurance company be answer about market be and make sure so identify themselves with the market queen. So that BBC the market queen is in the known. So sometimes we even allow them some mama nipa ba konkohwe office war and the answers are pay of your officer and also of your basically when it comes to micro insurance we try to make it we call something we say it's suave, we say it's simple, it's understandable, it's accessible, it's valuable and it's very efficient.
Wow, it's suave. It's your final words to everybody that this policy that this policy can help.
Especially, let me even pick it from credit protection. You know, we're dealing with rural banks. We're trying to get them to insure their loans. One rural bank, can be or so on. Unfortunately, they gave a loan to somebody, though we're looking at micro insurance, but we allowed them to go as far as 100,000. So they gave 150,000 to somebody. The person did not pay a cedi and died. Meanwhile, the premium you pay for a 150,000 Ghana cedis is 1% of the loan amount for the whole period. So it could be even be 5 years. So it means that the person is covered for 5 years. So when they came in on, then the person died. So basically, I had to go and cough 150,000 to pay to them. And then I went to, it seems anybody that want to testify can call the GMM, check. It's so, it means that either we will chase the family or get sure that whatever product that the person had was taken away from them to recover the loan. So what I'm saying to all of us and to the general public is that insurance basically is about financial security. Anything that is valuable to you, your life, your property. Young ones say, well, so mommy ending and I'm spending more than 70, 80 years. Normally, insurance normally have your cut-off age, but now even people are opening it up. So make sure you have at least a funeral policy for them. Sometimes say, who can say a year about an uncle full soon? And then depend on where we years old. We want to get the money to do the funeral. It's where the problem is. It will say, oh my get something, even 5,000 cover. Give to the you have more than a 20 cedis premium a month. So please, I want to advise all the young ones here that let's do a funeral policy. And if you even planning to marry, you can even start doing an investment policy, cover your own life, and do some savings. At the end of 3 years, 4 years, maybe tell you, I've done a policy with Star Life. Meaning, next year, I have some 20-something thousand to pick. So I want to advise that, please, insurance is very critical. And insurance is not a 419 scheme, no. Insurance pays.
As you have realized, the insurance companies are not here to get you. It is a developmental plan. In times of difficulty, you get something to fall back on. But before I go, let me say one thing to our mothers in the marketplaces. Please, say we try insurance now. Yeah, facture o nanabi, and I say facture o baby, and I facture cratchy, and I facture obi we busuanimu. And your margin is on beku. Na say dachi, I say be bar, on what me abebow. Please, let's continue this conversation on social media, on Insurance Pays GH, and on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and Instagram, and let the conversation on insurance linger on and on and on. Insurance pays!
Notify, submit, get paid.
Bye-bye!
This show is brought to you by Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group and the German Development Corporation through GIC.